There is a dermatologist standing in the sunscreen aisle right now. She has spent 15 years treating melanoma, sun damage, and premature aging. She knows every filter, every formula, every published study on photoprotection. And she is reaching straight past the $85 bottle with the French label and the gold cap, picking up the $14 one sitting right next to it. You have seen both. You probably own the expensive one. She will never touch it. Not because she cannot afford it, because she knows what the marketing team is hoping you never find out. Welcome back to Pure Beauty Lab. Today I am ranking 10 sunscreen brands. 5 are ones dermatologists will never put on their own face. 5 are what they actually buy. Every entry is backed by ingredient data, published studies, and the price math the luxury brands desperately hope you never do. Because getting sunscreen wrong is not just a waste of money, it is a health decision. Let us start with the ones robbing you. Number 1 on the avoid list is Clarins UV Plus Anti-Pollution SPF 50, $57, 1 ounce. Beautiful packaging, a story about pollution defense and plant extracts that photographs perfectly on a vanity. Here is the problem. The moment a cosmetic dermatologist reads the active ingredient list, one thing jumps out immediately. The primary UVA filter is avobenzone. Avobenzone is a legitimate ingredient, but it has a well-documented stability crisis. It degrades when exposed to sunlight, which is exactly the environment you are wearing sunscreen in. Clarins includes octocrylene as a stabilizer, which helps, but this combination has been available in drugstore formulas for under $10 for over a decade. The botanical extracts sitting in the marketing copy? They appear at the very bottom of the ingredient list, concentrations so low they cannot do anything measurable. What you are paying for is the word pollution on the packaging and the psychological comfort of something that looks expensive. Your skin cannot read the box. Number 2 is Shiseido Urban Environment UV Protection Cream SPF 42, around $42 for under 2 ounces. The brand sells the idea of urban skin protection, a phrase that sounds scientific but has no standardized definition, no regulatory requirement, and no clinical trial behind it whatsoever. Dermatologists who study photoprotection are consistent on this. Urban protection is a marketing construct designed to justify a price premium at a moment when city living anxiety is running high. The UV filters inside this formula are functional. They are also identical to what you find in products costing 5 times less. There is no published data quantifying what pollution defense means in a measurable, skin-visible way. The protection could be replicated for under $12. Everything above that number is branding, and your skin barrier will never recognize the difference. Third on the avoid list is Lancaster Sun Beauty Sublime Tan SPF 30. The price is not the worst part here. The SPF 30 is. Every major dermatology society, including the American Academy of Dermatology, the British Association of Dermatologists, and the European Academy of Dermatology and Venereology, recommends SPF 50 as the standard for daily facial use. SPF 30 blocks 97% of UVB rays. SPF 50 blocks 98%. That 1% sounds small until you understand it represents a 50% increase in UV radiation reaching your skin over a full day. Lancaster markets this around the aspirational language of a sun-kissed glow and skin conditioning benefits. But when a dermatologist is recommending sunscreen to a patient concerned about aging or hyperpigmentation, SPF 30 is not what gets written down. A product that trades SPF level for aesthetic appeal is making the wrong call for your long-term skin health. Full stop. Number 4 is Dior Forever Skin Glow SPF 35, $62 for 1.1 ounces. This is where luxury skincare and sunscreen blur together in a way that genuinely frustrates dermatologists. The product is marketed as a foundation sunscreen hybrid, which sounds convenient until you understand that the finish requirements of a foundation and the protection requirements of a serious sunscreen are in direct conflict. Formulas designed to feel weightless and blend like tinted moisturizer dilute the UV filter concentration needed for reliable protection. SPF 35 on a product that also functions as makeup creates what researchers call the application problem. Studies on real-world sunscreen use show consistently that people apply cosmetic finish SPF at a fraction of the amount needed to hit the labeled number. You need 2 milligrams per square centimeter to achieve the SPF on the bottle. Nobody applies foundation that heavily. Dermatologists have a name for this, SPF theater. You feel protected. The science says you are not. At $62, you are paying a luxury premium for a feeling of safety that the formula cannot actually deliver. Fifth and most expensive on the avoid list is La Mer, the SPF 50 UV protecting fluid. $115 for just over an ounce. La Mer invented the concept of charging $200 per ounce for a moisturizer and brought that same logic to sunscreen. The UV filters inside this bottle, Tinosorb S, avobenzone, homosalate, are available in dozens of formulas at under $15. The famous miracle broth appears in the ingredient list, but UV protection is not delivered by fermented kelp. It is delivered by UV filters, and those filters are commodity ingredients every brand purchases from the same industrial suppliers at the same price. La Mer publishes no clinical SPF performance data beyond the standard regulatory minimum. There is no independent study showing this product outperforms a $10 drugstore option in measurable photoprotection. In a category where the entire point is preventing cancer and premature aging, paying for a brand instead of paying for proven protection is not a luxury decision. It is a gamble with your health. Now we flip the list entirely. These are the 5 sunscreens dermatologists actually buy for themselves, recommend in their clinics, and reach for when they are protecting skin they take seriously. Every entry comes with transparent ingredient disclosure, published data, or documented clinical adoption. And every single one costs a fraction of what the brands above are charging. First on the dermatologist-approved list is EltaMD UV Clear SPF 46, around $39 for 1.7 ounces, less than $23 per ounce, already better value than the luxury options above, but the price is almost beside the point. EltaMD UV Clear uses zinc oxide as its primary filter, a mineral blocker with one of the cleanest safety profiles in the entire category. Zinc oxide is photostable, meaning it does not degrade under sunlight the way avobenzone does. The formula is specifically engineered for acne-prone and rosacea-prone skin, which is why it has become the post-procedure standard in dermatology clinics across the country. In a 2025 independent laboratory study measuring sensory comfort on sensitive and post-procedure skin, EltaMD UV Clear ranked first for lowest reported stinging and irritation. When dermatologists send patients home after laser treatments and chemical peels, they reach for this. That clinical adoption is not a marketing claim. It is the result of years of real patient outcomes. Number 7 is La Roche-Posay Anthelios Melt-in Milk SPF 60, around $20 to $33 depending on size. The Anthelios line uses Mexeril SX and Mexeril XL, proprietary photostable UV filters developed through decades of formulation research and backed by published stability data. These are not commodity ingredients. They are backed by regulatory approval across the EU, where sunscreen oversight is significantly stricter than in the US. In 2025, the Skin Research Institute of California ranked Anthelios as delivering the highest UVA protection factor among all leading facial sunscreens tested. UVA radiation is responsible for premature aging, hyperpigmentation, and a meaningful portion of melanoma risk. Most sunscreens lead with their SPF number because that is what the marketing teaches consumers to look for. UVA protection is where the real long-term skin health story lives, and Anthelios wins that comparison decisively. The American Academy of Dermatology includes La Roche-Posay in its official patient education toolkit. That is not an endorsement you buy, it is one you earn through consistent clinical performance. Number 8 is CeraVe Hydrating Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30. Yes, SPF 30 appears on the dermatologist list, and here is exactly why it is different from the Lancaster SPF 30 above. Context is everything. CeraVe's mineral sunscreen is designed for daily incidental exposure, meaning office commutes, errands, and everyday life under indoor lighting that still transmits UV. It uses zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, both photostable mineral filters combined with the brand's patented ceramide delivery system. The formula holds a National Eczema Association seal of acceptance. At around $15 for 3 ounces, this is precisely what dermatologists mean when they recommend a daily baseline layer for sensitive or compromised skin. The ingredient list matches the clinical use case perfectly. That alignment is the entire point. Number 9 is Isntree Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel SPF 50 plus PA++++, $16 for 50 milliliters. The PA++++ rating is the highest tier on the Korean and Japanese UVA grading scale, a designation that requires rigorous third-party testing to achieve and confirms extremely high UVA protection. The formula uses Tinosorb S and Uvenol A+, alongside hyaluronic acid in multiple molecular weights, delivering broad-spectrum protection and clinical-grade hydration simultaneously. The finish is water gel, which layers cleanly under makeup without pilling, a real-world problem that dermatologists hear about constantly from patients who skip sunscreen because the texture is incompatible with their routine. At 32 cents per milliliter for SPF 50 plus PA++++ coverage with transparent ingredient disclosure, this is the kind of value math that makes luxury sunscreen brands deeply uncomfortable. The protection is measurably superior to products costing 4 times more. And finally, completing the dermatologist list, Paula's Choice Extra Care Non-Greasy Sunscreen SPF 50. Around $33 for 5 ounces, $6.60 per ounce. The most cost-efficient SPF 50 on this entire list, backed by the level of scientific transparency that separates Paula's Choice from every marketing-driven brand above it. The formula uses avobenzone stabilized by octocrylene, a photostable combination, fragrance-free, non-comedogenic, and designed for daily use across all skin types. Paula's Choice publishes its formulation rationale publicly. You can read the science before you buy. That standard of transparency is the exact opposite of miracle broth and anti-pollution theatre. Here is what all 10 entries prove. In sunscreen, the price tag is almost never connected to the protection. The brands charging $60, $80, and $115 per ounce are selling aesthetics, heritage, and the psychological comfort of luxury. The brand's dermatologists actually trust cost between $6 and $23 per ounce and are backed by photostability data, clinical adoption, and complete ingredient transparency. UV radiation does not check the label before it damages your DNA. The only questions that matter are whether the filters are photostable, whether UVA protection is measured and published, and whether the formula will actually stay effective long enough to do its job. 5 brands on this list answer yes to all 3. 5 are counting on you never asking the question. Now you know exactly which ones are which. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week I am going inside the anti-aging serum market And what I found makes the sunscreen industry look honest by comparison.